It's on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power! Fight the power!
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Okay, but do any of the sons have their own identity outside of Diddy? When you look at Diddy and his sons, what do you see? A group of young men who are talented, yes, but also copies of him from their music, their interviews, all of that, the bravado. And ask yourself, based off of your own relationship with your father, are you a copy of him? And are you proud of that copy? That's something right there. Are you proud of a copy? Or because of the things that he did not heal from himself, are you now trying to heal yourself as an adult man with no guidance? With no guidance. Because a lot of the parenting you had from him was performative. Coming over for Father's Day, showing up like the good parent. But outside of that performative aspect, did you get what you really need? Okay. Did you get what you really need, or did you get what your parents thought you needed? And once again, going back to my former video, were you born into a system, an archetype of what you felt like your father already wanted for you? And then when you didn't meet, in his mind, what you were supposed to be, what did he do? Did he reject you? Did he still love you? Now, if you had siblings, did he go over to them siblings who met the goals he had in his mind and you felt left out? That's a deeper conversation. Parents who are raising kids, men, oh, he gonna play football just like me. He gonna play basketball just like me. This gonna be my mini-me. I'm so happy to have a son to be just like me. But are you somebody that needs a copy? Are you a man who needs a copy? Hit the like. Let me know if I'm preaching. Okay. When sons grow up with an unhealed father, they internalize some messages. What are those messages? Oh, I got them for you. Get out your pen and your paper. Okay.
Yo, this is about to be crazy. I didn't even expect. Well, who is that? Who is that lady talking about? She's a licensed therapist. She's saying daddy created the template and the children followed it. Or he enforced the template onto the children. Oh, man, that isn't. So, I listen to the clips when you hear the clips. I don't get a sneak peek. Oh, this is about to be good. Tonight's topic: the inner jury love triangle. Why you never date a person, only their verdict in your head. No, wait a minute. Hold on. You're saying there's an inner tribunal inside of everybody that already passes judgment on who they think the person is, and you're not really dating them, you're dating the verdict, right? Your verdict of them in your head. The inner trinity and the karmic courtroom. Let's get deep. 1-800-920-1580. Let's get it. Most people believe relationships fail because of incompatibility, poor communication, or unresolved conflict. This assumption misses the deeper architecture at work. In truth, many relationships collapse under the weight of an unexamined internal trinity, a psychological and spiritual structure that governs perception long before intimacy begins. Within the psyche, the father emerges as the inner lawgiver, the internalized authority formed from parents, culture, religion, ancestry, and fear. This father does not ask who you are. It asks whether you measure up. It watches, evaluates, and judges. From this position, love becomes conditional and relational life becomes a courtroom governed by verdicts rather than presence. This is about to get deep. The Son in this Trinity, we just did the Father, now we're doing the Son. The Son in this Trinity, this internal Trinity. The Son appears as the self in relationship, the embodied ego, the attachment wounded identity seeking approval, safety, and redemption. This is the part that enters intimacy carrying hope and terror in equal measure, unconsciously offering itself as evidence in a trial it never agreed to attend. When relationships become exhausting, it is often because the Son believes love must be earned, proven, or justified. Do you have an internal trinity in your spirit that is judging and passing verdicts on the people that come into your life? Are you dating that verdict, or are you dating the actual person? I want to know what shaped the verdict. Then you have the Holy Spirit, right? Oh, the Holy Spirit, however, represents something radically different: direct perception. It is awareness without prosecution, presence without narrative, consciousness unmedicated by fear or memory. Where the Spirit is absent, the Father judge and the Son judge performs. Where the Spirit is present, the courtroom dissolves. Wait a minute, Zoe. Are you saying we have an inner Trinity that is similar to what is in the Bible? Oh. 1-800-920-1580. Somebody get to your phone lines. I want to talk to you. I'm speaking metaphorically, metaphysically, but I'm making a point. Right? The courtroom dissolves when the Holy Spirit aspect of this Trinity takes over. The Holy Spirit aspect represents direct perception. Not a perception that is ruled by the Father internal judge or ruled by the Son internal judge, but by the Holy Spirit, a direct perception of spirit. The courtroom dissolves. This is the heart of the inner jury love triangle. People do not relate directly. They litigate unconsciously. Partners become symbols. Intimacy becomes evidence. And love becomes a verdict. Healing does not come from winning the case or finding the right person. It comes from restoring the Trinity. When authority becomes grounded rather than punitive, the self becomes embodied rather than defended, and presence replaces judgment entirely. When the Spirit returns, the trial ends, not because you were proven worthy, but because worth was never on trial. Are y'all ready for tonight's work? I am. Let me say something else. It might unsettle you before it begins to make sense. In most relationships, there aren't two people, there are three. You, the person sitting across from you, and the invisible jury you've been performing since you were a child. Parents, culture, gods, ancestors, right? The imagined community, the internalized therapist, the digital audience, the ghosts you call standards, the thing you call intuition but never audited. Oh my goodness. 1-800-920-1580. Who are your internal judges? I'm asking. And have they passed verdict? Have they rendered a verdict on every single experience in your life? And is that verdict just? Ooh, what are the rules of this court? Oh, God, if you're insecurely attached, what laws govern you? Come on, 1-800-920-1580. Let's talk. I want to talk about it. Do you want to talk about it, Andy? I want to talk about it. The ghosts you call standards. The thing you call intuition but never audited. Oh, my goodness. And here's the part we don't like to admit. You don't fall in love with a person. You fall in love with the verdict. Oof. This makes me worthy. This redeems me. This proves I'm not who I came from. Oh, my goodness. This closes a case that's been open since my childhood. Wait a minute. Attachment science told us early on that we internalize relational expectations, but nobody told us those expectations would mature into judges. God, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold on. Didn't I tell you them unhealed wounds co-author your expectations? Haven't clinicians all over the world, current clinicians right now, are they not telling you if you don't heal it, you're reenacting it? You're reenacting it if you don't heal it. If you don't deal with it, you're going to reenact it. Aren't they saying? 1-800-920-1580. I know you want to talk about it. You gotta face it. This show is going to make you face it, right? That's what we do here at the Voice of Reason. We're going to make you face it, right? Cassidy and Shaver called them working models. But working models towards what? Towards safety, approval, belonging, towards acquittal? So now every relationship becomes a trial. Your partner doesn't act, they get interpreted. Listen. They don't pause, they get cross-examined. They don't reassure, they get convicted. Right? Beverly Engel warned us that shame doesn't just hurt, it becomes a lens. And once shame becomes a lens, perception collapses into prosecution. You stop asking who this person is, and you start asking what this relationship proves about you. 1-800-920-1580. And the body knows before the mind ever speaks. Babette Rothschild reminded us that the body is the unconscious mind, which means the verdict arrives somatically first. In other words, it arrives in your body before your mouth can even mention. 1-800-920-1580. Oh my goodness. When we come forward, we're going to break down the inner child and the inner judges that have passed verdicts, maybe prematurely, maybe without DNA evidence. Maybe the case was botched. Maybe they were just trying to make a political statement by convicting somebody because the crime happened, but they didn't know who the criminal was. Maybe they just had to get a criminal. As black folk, we know all about that. Somebody got to be convicted. Ooh, when we come forward. The voice of reason go in the week strong. Let's get it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
Break out the champagne. Everybody get a glass. KBLA Talk 1580 congratulates our own Keith Underwood, host of the weekend entertainment show Black in the Green Room, on his recent honor at the annual National Arts and Entertainment Journalism Awards. Keith received a first place award presented by the Los Angeles Press Club for his entertainment reporting, and we couldn't be prouder. Congratulations, Keith, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
December nights were cold. It felt like something was missing. I was sleeping on my own. It didn't feel like Christmas. It was getting close to the time of year to deck the halls and spread good cheer. I looked at the empty couch and fireplace and thought, there's gotta be a better way. Almost lonely to you. Almost lonely to you. Almost lonely to you. Almost lonely to you. Let's put up a Christmas tree. I want the lights to shine on you. I need your company. I know you're down to spend it too. It's not just that time of year. You're all I want when the snow appears. I used to have an empty couch and fireplace, but now there's gotta be.
After years of studying divorces, what do people usually say they regret the most?
I think what people regret the most is arguing in front of the children. In fact, before they divorce, oftentimes they lost control and may have argued in front of the children, and they feel pretty terrible about that. What do you think, hon?
I would think they would regret not having been kind to their partner. Because I think a lot of times physiological arousal just gets in the way of responding in a kind, generous way. People think that they bear some responsibility for that. And I would think they might regret that.
Yeah, I think another thing that they regret is not leaving sooner, especially when they've had children. And the children, in some ways, have been mistreated by the parent they're divorcing. They feel really terrible about that.
Yeah.
And that includes physical abuse of the children, mental.
So that was Dr. John Gottman and his wife, and a lot of clinicians, psychologists, they know about John Gottman. They know about his work. His work is extensive and it is profound. And if you really peel back the layers of what Zoe is trying to do here on this show, I'm trying to be the nexus for where metaphysics, spirituality, psychology, all of it comes together, right? That's what I'm trying to do here. That's what I'm trying to present here. And when peeling back the layers even further, you start to find out, and I've said it on many shows before, people are grossly self-unaware. So when you present topics like this, right, and yeah, it's creative, right? You got an internal trinity of judges, right? One of them sees the truth and two of them fight for dominance to control the perception, right? These internal judges, right? The inner child, these attachment wounds, the whole 9 yards, right? The whole point is to let you know what really comes with being in a relationship. This is why I say so many people are grossly self-unaware. They get into relationships saying, what does this stuff that Zoe is talking about, what does any of that even matter? And then when you get into the relationship and you start running into roadblocks, then you start looking for people. Oh, I ain't gonna go to therapy. Let me go to the church. I'm gonna go get some prayers. I'm gonna do some voodoo. I'm gonna do some hoodoo. I'm gonna put a root on somebody. Do you see what I'm saying? When you could have just went inside and started dealing with yourself. And yes, going to a therapist is great. Yes, please. And I always say preferably it's a sister, right? And not only does she have the clinical training, but she also has some kind of spiritual training. And when I say spiritual, I don't mean the big three. I don't mean, dogmatic, or I mean spirit. Like when Precious comes in and talks, like from that angle. Because it's always a good balance to have the psychological with the spiritual, right? And you get a more nuanced answer, right? And a more nuanced approach into how to look at yourself. Because no matter how good the therapist is, they can't do the work for you, right? Right? So this is the purpose of the show. And tonight's show is talking about this inner child, right? That as you get older becomes a judge in your internal system, right? And starts passing verdicts, right? This person is that. This person is that, right? And that's not what we want to do in relationships. We really want to keep an eye on our own development so that we can take responsibility for relationships we co-create that we ultimately don't like. How can you take responsibility for something if you don't know how you contributed to the downfall? Oh no, it's easier to blame someone than it is to claim what it is you brought to the table that was destabilizing for the relationship. Do you see? The nervous system bangs the gavel long before the conscious mind assembles the facts. So when you say, I just had a feeling, what you often mean is my body remembered something my present moment didn't cause. Trauma doesn't argue, it reacts. And memory masquerades as intuition when the inner jury runs the courtroom. Come on! When the voice of reason returns, we're opening up the phone lines. Get on your phone lines. Call me right now. I want to hear from the nation. 1-800-920-1580.
Almost lonely till you. Almost lonely till you. Almost lonely till you. Almost lonely till you.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Police have identified 48-year-old Jacob Bard as the suspect in the Kentucky State University shooting. He's charged with murder and assault after a 19-year-old was killed and another student critically injured near a residence hall Tuesday.
Our investigation has determined that Mr. Bard is a parent of a Kentucky State University student.
The HBCU has suspended all classes and activities for the rest of the week. The Justice Department is suing Minneapolis Public Schools, alleging the district gave hiring and benefits preferences to underrepresented teachers and members of the Black Men Teach Fellows. The DOJ says that violates Title VII. MPS is not commenting on the lawsuit. And singer SZA is calling out ICE for using her song in a video, calling it rage baiting and criticizing the White House for using artists without permission. Kenny Loggins and others have raised similar complaints about Trump-era videos using their music without approval. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Yeah, yo, come on. Here come the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it. Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Unwrap LA this winter with Metro. Whether you're heading to a family gathering or last-minute shopping, Metro's got you. Enjoy free rides across Metro on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. Move with joy. Move with community this holiday season. Go Metro.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Imagine a Los Angeles where everyone can thrive, where communities have access to the resources they need to succeed. That's the vision of Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. They're dedicated to improving life in LA County by providing educational support, employment assistance, and spaces for community engagement. By 2050, they want LA to be the best place to connect, create, learn, live, and play. They're working toward an education system that's well-resourced and culturally responsive, becoming a hub for artists and innovators, and making sure everyone has access to healthy food, quality healthcare, and safe housing. It's about building a future where we all have the chance to succeed. We invite you to learn more about their mission and get involved with Detours Mentoring Group, Inc. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I see. Sometimes confused by the double standards of society. And maybe I'm wrong about the way I feel, but then will somebody tell me what is really real? Now I respect myself, I respect you too, but in the end it's got to be doing to me as I do to you. Now I'm trying to tell you it's time. Separate I walk to my desire, separate the truth from the lie, to live like people so inspired. Peaceful waters out to sea, basic respect, humanity. When at one time seemed to be, we can live together peacefully. If we have truth, we can survive. That our forefathers have died. It should be moral or a sin. If it is according to the skin I'm in, the skin I'm in.
In the last few videos, we've been discussing attachment, and largely we've been talking about it as if we're all the same. Based on Bowlby's interest in animal studies and the subsequent development of his ethological theory, rooted in evolutionary assumptions, we've been discussing attachment as if it's an innate, universal phenomenon. But is this the case? Is a child born in China the same as a child born in America? This isn't a question of race. This is a question of cultures, because all of the studies we've looked at so far were conducted in, drumroll please, the United States of America. So, are Mary Ainsworth's American infants the perfect specimen of human? Can all conclusions be drawn from this selectively over-researched pocket of global society? Well, the chances are that the answer is probably no. Cultural psychologists study the similarities and differences between cultures in a bid to understand the biological, social and societal factors at play on the human condition. And one of the favoured research methods used in studies of cultural comparison is the meta-analysis, an academic mashup of many individual studies designed to test whether their results and conclusions still stack up when combined. One of the most famous meta-analyses of attachment is Van Ischendorn and Cronenberg's 1988 strange situation meta-analysis. Combining the results of 32 strange situation studies from 8 countries, Van Ischendorn and Cronenberg were able to analyse the results of almost 2,000 strange situation classifications. And the headline result was indeed, wherever in the world you are, more children exhibit a secure attachment type than insecure. In the UK, this was greatest at 75% of children, whereas in China, 50% of children classified as securely attached. But still, secure is the majority classification in all countries included in this study. A more notable difference between cultures, crudely split as collectivist and individualist, is noticed in the insecurely attached children. Collectivist countries such as Japan and Israel see more insecure resistant children, whereas individualist countries, including America and Germany, see comparatively more insecure avoidant children. That all being said, Van Ischendorn notes that variation within cultures is nearly 15 times greater than cross-cultural variations, which he puts down to socio-economic factors such as class. Van Ischendorn's
Yeah, that clip was from This is Psychology Unlocked. Yes, man. We know how to work our phones better than we know how to work our spirit. Relationship puts us in a position to deal with spirit all day in America. Right? All day in the world. It puts us in a position to deal with our spirit. I say this often. We don't look at relationships from a spiritual lens enough. We look at it from a cultural lens, social game rules, a class lens, a tax bracket. We look at it from all these other lenses. But from a spiritual lens, right? What psychic energy am I carrying genetically that's trying to, discharge itself, right? That's trying to download itself, that's trying to resolve itself, right? It's difficult for people to understand it when we don't normalize the conversation around it, right? The way we look at therapy. Oh, something must be wrong with y'all if y'all went to therapy. That's we don't need therapy. We good, we're gonna pray about it. And that's one way to deal with it. But then, there's a clinical way that, it's pretty effective too. But like I said, I always try to balance the two, right? Again, culture doesn't always help. Anthropology shows us that honor/shame systems, like honor/shame systems, don't disappear. They go internal. So we're carrying the honor/shame systems, right, into our adult relationships, right? Family expectations become internal prosecutors. Religious surveillance becomes internal morality police. Social media turns into a digital witness stand, right? And we're seeing this right now, where intimacy must perform or perish. Charles Taylor warned us that modern identity collapse under the pressure of being watched, and how your inner jury has, to deal with that it's going to be interesting to see as we move forward, right? Your cell phone becomes the bailiff. The feed becomes the crowd. The relationship becomes a performance review. And intimacy becomes dangerous because intimacy threatens the script. So people don't ask, can I be present with you? They ask, how does this look? They don't ask, do I feel safe here? They ask, does this justify me? Patrick Carnes showed us how trauma bonds keep people reenacting unresolved wounds, not because they want pain, but because the inner jury demands familiarity over freedom. Do you see? What kind of relationship do you want if you're not dealing with this inner trinity, these inner judges? When we come forward, we're going to open up the phone lines. I want to hear from you guys. 1-800-920-1580.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. If you've been diagnosed with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, this is what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy. With Tremfya, clearer skin is possible. In clinical trials, at least 70% of patients saw at least 90% clearer skin at 16 weeks. Results may vary. Tremfya is also indicated for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Call 1-800-526-7736 or visit tremfya.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Well, a little technical difficulty, but it's okay. The Voice of Reason is still here, ready to cook with the rarest grease. Live on KBLA Talk 1580. You already know what it is, the VOR. I go the farthest when it comes to these relationship discussions, and we're in one right now. I'm looking at the chat on TikTok here, and D-Man, he asked a question about me going deeper on choosing the familiar over freedom. Well, we kind of cover this, quite a bit, especially with regards to attachment theory. A lot of these relationships are but reenactments, right? Just think of your attachment style as a type of pattern, right? A mold, so to speak, that was created in childhood by your primary caregiver, right? You carry that mold, right? That mold of intimacy into your adult relationships. And oftentimes you look for a person that feels familiar to that mold. Now, that mold can be secure. It could be healthy, right? Because you came from, an emotionally attuned and attentive set of parents, right? Your primary caregivers could have been really locked in. So now you have a healthy mold. It's not perfect, but it's healthy. And you carry that into adult relationships. And then you tend to look for people that are also, or you're attracted to people that are healthy like you. But the reverse can be true, right? We can have parents that weren't attuned to our needs, that created unhealthy patterns or molds, right? And then we carry those into relationships. And we attract people that are on that level. I give a metaphysical explanation for why we attract those people. We don't attract those people just because they're familiar. We also attract those people because we need to see ourselves. This is what the great Krishnamurti meant when he said relationship functions and operates as a mirror, right? We need to be able to see ourselves. And when we see ourselves, we take responsibility for what we see, which takes me back to, you've heard this quote a million times. When somebody, tell me who said this. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. Who said that? Who is famous for saying that quote? Right? Let me see my people. Are my people in here? Who's famous? I mean, outright fan. Mama Maya Angelou. So Zoe Williams comes along and says, yes, that's true. But this is also true, right? When somebody shows you who you are, believe them the first time. See, it's easy to believe when somebody shows you who they are. You could be like, oh, look at you, huh? I see you a mile away. I know what you want. I see what it is. But when it comes to seeing yourself and then accepting what you see about yourself in others, oftentimes we aggrandize who we think we are and marginalize the other, right? That's why I took the great Maya Angelou's quote and recontextualized it. Yes, that first part is true. When somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them the first time. But the same is true when somebody shows you who you are, you should also believe them the first time. Right? I know it's difficult. I know it's hard to wrap your mind around, but it's important to do so. Again, I'm talking about these molds from childhood. You can look at the metaphor, you can place the same metaphor with these inner judges. These inner judges are archetypes or molds within our spirit, right? And the only way to be able to see your partner or another person or yourself as a real being, as a true being, a real person, you have to dissolve the inner court that has been established by inner hurt. Do you understand? Do you understand? Healing does not come from winning the case. It comes from ending the trial. Christian Neff's research on self-compassion showed us that judgment dissolves not through correction, but through witnessing without prosecution. Colin Tippin, love Colin Tippin's books. Colin Tippin called it radical self-forgiveness, not as permission for harm, but as the dissolution of the courtroom itself. And then you have, again, Krishnamurti, right? Relentless and precise, said, truth is a pathless land. No judge, no jury, no verdict. Just direct perception. You don't have a direct perception of yourself. That means you can't have a direct perception of your partner. That means the wounds are in charge. The verdicts that they lay down are in charge and must be followed in order for you to feel any sense of what you have contextualized as peace. It's not peace, it's quiet. Do you see? Looking at yourself, dealing with your real self is a type of noise that you refuse to hear. So again, direct perception. We use the metaphor of the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Well, the Holy Spirit would, in this context, would represent direct perception of self and direct perception of others. When the inner jury dissolves, something shocking happens. You finally meet the person in front of you, not your father, who was in and out, inconsistent. Not your mother, who was bitter and hurt and disappointed and dissatisfied. Ooh, I know I'm talking to somebody. Not your past, not your fear. Right? A human being. And maybe for the first time you realize the exhaustion wasn't love, wasn't intimacy, wasn't relationships. It was litigation. You're tired of litigating. Your inner courtroom is litigating everything. Are they safe? Are they who they say they are? Will they abandon me? Are they going to stay? Right? The litigation is nonstop. Do you see? It was carrying a courtroom into the bedroom. It was trying to prove something that never needed proving. Oh, love? How about love never needs proving? Do you know people try to argue this point? They try to argue for the points that the wound made. But you know, I was hurt. And I get it. We're going to listen because you need to be heard. You need to be heard. Part of healing is being heard. So we're going to listen without judgment. We're going to allow you to say it. Maybe you never had the courage to say it. So now's the time to say it. So when you say it, after it's said, then what? You say it again? This is why so many people have been coached and encouraged and told, hey, you need to break up with this story. You keep empowering this story every time you listening? Tonight, man, I know if your relationship feels heavy, ask yourself, who are you trying to convince? If anxiety spikes around closeness, ask who's watching. And if love keeps feeling like pressure instead of presence, maybe it's not the relationship at all. Maybe it's the trial that's going on in your spirit. And maybe the most radical act of intimacy isn't finding the right person. Maybe it's firing the jury. Why is it so difficult for you to stay awake in the face of intimacy? Prince tried to tell you. Intimacy is an extension of God. Prince tried to tell you, man. He wrote the record called Anastasia. That was his attempt, right, to creatively capture God as an intimate force. Right? I'm going to ask you again, how does your inner jury, formed through early conditioning described in Cassidy and Shaver's Handbook of Attachment, convert parental micro-expressions into lifelong relational verdicts you never consciously issued? When I come forward, the voice of reason going to keep it lit, and we going to Los Angeles to talk to one of our favorites.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Police have identified 48-year-old Jacob Bard as the suspect in the Kentucky State University shooting. He's charged with murder and assault after a 19-year-old was killed and another student critically injured near a residence hall Tuesday.
Our investigation has determined that Mr. Bard